Honestly, there's always just something about a Marvel film that is so amazing, incredible, and special. And I mean, there's just nothing like a good Marvel movie coming out in theaters and going to see it in theaters with your friends is always amazing. I mean, it's fun, sentimental, and adventure-y, and I think they're gonna love all the Thunderbolts.
I think the best part about this movie is how fresh the characters are. So I think for Marvel especially, like, it's exciting to see new faces and new versions of old characters, and I think it's just really fun to have a female main character. And I mean, my favorite movie has always been Black Widow from all the Marvel series, and I loved Yelena. And so I think that just having a strong female main character just makes this like a great way to start the whole Marvel summer season. I guess the best part about this is how there's a lot of love and a lot of like there's the relationships between the characters are so complex, which I think is so fun because I mean David Harbour and Florence Pugh's daughter-father relationship is just, I mean, it's such, every single time they speak, you're bound to laugh at some point and then also kind of cry. And I think that's kind of the beauty of this film, like how it explores the relationships in this like crazy, fun action film. With such big things like this, where there's people fighting, there's buildings blowing up, you have to see it in a huge screen. You have to feel like you're there. And the only way to do this on a home theater with like your TV in your living room, it's to go to a huge screen like the Dolby Cinema and just be immersed in the experience. And I think that's so worth it, especially for this film.
Well, that's a great question because there's what it means to me to be part of this story, which is a lot, because I think this story is as humane and considerate of being a human being as any of these movies ever are. But to be in a Marvel movie kind of makes my career official at this point. So it means a lot everywhere I look. For me, what's unique about this sort of assembly of characters is that they're all human beings. There's room for all kinds of storytelling, but in this story in particular, these characters that have these extraordinary abilities are all people, and their extraordinary abilities have not canceled out their people problems. So in terms of does this relate, it relates to anybody who watches it, and I think the story as I read it is so generous in terms of inviting the entire audience to sort of see the similarities between them and these sort of elevated, kind of massive, powerful characters, and that there's a lot more similarities than differences, and that any version of that message to me right now has a lot of value.
I'm excited because I know how avid Marvel fans are, and I know about all the little Easter eggs already, and I know that this is a different sort of movie because these are different sort of superheroes, and more than any other, I think they can identify with these folks more than any of the other members of the universe. There but by the grace of God go I, I could be Red Guardian too, I could be Ghost, all of those folks. It's going to be interesting to see how people react to it, but I think that's the thing that they're going to love. That, wow, I feel like I can be up there with them. Right, and it's the fact that, their moral ambiguity and their flaws are so reflective of who we are as human beings, and it teaches us that even in your most darkest hours, you have to have courage, and courage is acting in the face of fear, not in the absence of it, and that's what they teach us in this film. First of all, great action. Flo does a stunt right at the beginning that is just out of this world. I love it, and also just the discovery of what that asterisk is all about. That's another thing.
It's a really lovely thing because you go off and, it really felt like we were kind of on our own down in Atlanta and you're just making some of your friends. I've known some of these people before this movie and it never felt like this huge thing. Even when you're out in the middle of Utah flipping cars, it felt like just making a movie together the way you would on any scale. But then you remember, okay, no, it is a Marvel movie and it is summer and we do have big explosions and stunts and that this is going to operate on a scale where the theatrical experience is so special and that people are going to show up to see this, it feels really wonderful. Yeah, when you have this cast, you just feel like you want to give them as much as they can to sink their teeth into because they can do it all. And it felt like we wanted to tell a story that felt honest, and even in those kind of darker, grittier moments, like there is humor, and that's true in all kind of aspects of life, whether it's on, world stake scale or just your regular stakes, and I think it felt honest to the story to have all of that in there. I mean, we went to the ends of the earth. We had Florence Pugh on top of the second tallest building in the world, stepping off of it and filming that for real. And when you see those real images in those places we went, up on a big screen with all of that scope, it's just so much, it's just how it was meant to be seen.
Everyone can understand and empathize with what it feels like to feel not wanted or not part of something or discarded or not loved, and that kind of loneliness, and to take these characters who are all dealing with different things from their past and put them together and get over flaws, or not flaws, but get, move past their past trauma and stuff to help build each other up. It's a really lovely feeling that's I'm not a person who likes saccharine sweet stuff, but this really sneaks up on you, and it meant a lot to kind of take something that felt very aggressive and in your face and make it something kind of lovely and positive. Well, I think that you start with the actors and the cast. I think that they are they're incredible, and their rapport with one another is outstanding. And then they were just a kind of perfect. You had all the ingredients for like a really spicy chili, kind of like they were built to annoy one another, but I think that when you're on a journey to grow, you kind of see that hey, some of the things that are bothering me are actually about myself, and I think a lot of there's a lot of like realization moments for these characters in that, and that's frustrating. And like to realize looking at that person shows me how to grow. For someone like these characters, that's annoying, and that reaction is fun, and I don't know, I think that they're just quirky and eccentric, and I love them for it.
It's so fun and beautiful. Like, Jake made it so beautiful, but also like you're gonna legit laugh, and there's some little energy, and you're gonna maybe have a little crush, and then you're also hopefully gonna cry, and I think maybe we all need a good cry to really release before the summer. It has a little bit of everything. I mean, I like antiheroes. I think antiheroes are more interesting than regular heroes most of the time. And also I think there's something really inspiring about what could make someone who has made mistakes in the past go to a place of making the world better. I think there's something beautiful about that.
We wanted to be true to the characters and of the story. I think all of us are complex and a little bit magical. I think that's what we tried to be. We tried to be ourselves and try to make as honest the music the way we make it as we could do, and also find new ways to explore. And this was because we are explorers as we were experimentalists at heart, and so this was a perfect chance to do it.
Yeah, I love that you use the word grit, because I think that was something that, like really being grounded and like, tangible and real and human is something that like really drew us into this script and this story. And we just wanted to bring that like human, relatable energy into the sound of this film.
The film, I would say, is really big on character development and really big on emotion and really big on just like kind of making that emotional connection. And so I think there's nothing better than to experience that in a room full of people together as like a cathartic experience. And when you pair that with the moments of bombast and grandiosity that come with a Marvel film, inevitably, it's like kind of you get your cake and eat it too a little bit in terms of an experience in a theater, with a big system and everything like that. Yeah. So, yeah.